Hi, my name is Anne Bland, and I'm so honored and joyful for being in this Youth Education Summit with you today. And I really would like to encourage you to become more ecstatically empowered in your own lives, because that's the journey that I have been on. To just paint a little bit of a context, we have seen so many crises at the moment. Climate change, pandemic, COVID-19, economic crisis, social crisis, Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, all sorts of different crises. These massive wicked problems, the poverty around the world, plastic in oceans. There are so many things that can really overwhelm us and make us feel like, what's the point? What can I do? And is it even my responsibility? And I understand that, especially when we're talking about these complex, compounded, wicked problems, which seem to just increase or create another problem if we try to solve them. So my background is in social enterprise and social impact business. And I've been lucky to have been able to work with organizations that really have that transformation, that change in the world in the very core what they do as a business. And I have learned so much. And what I've noticed is that these people who lead these organizations and who want to work with these organizations want to really have a meaningful life, work-life balance, but actually find solutions through business. And I think that's one of the ways the world is going forward. We need to start solving these problems because otherwise there is no planet for you to enjoy. And I'm so sorry to be this blunt, but this is really for you and for the future generations. And taking action now is all our responsibility. And one of the issues is that everybody seems to think that it's not my problem or I can't do anything to change it. And my argument is that we all can do something if we just pull our sources and resources and our wits and creativity together. And this comes to my second point, after that context setting, which actually is not that beautiful. And I'm really apologizing for that because, to be honest, we screwed it up. My generation has screwed it up. So what can we do? One of the things is that we really have that trajectory now that everything is going to go as it's always been. There is that kind of status quo where we just take for granted that this is how it's always been and this is how it's always going to be. And one of the issues is really the business world. It's very, again, not quite sure how to say this politely, but it's very patriarchal, it's very hierarchical, it's very competitive, it's wrecking the planet, exhausting its resources, and it's also exhausting people. Not all of them, as I said earlier. I have been privileged to work with some amazing businesses on this planet. But what I realized is that if we continue on this trajectory with this unmeaningful work life, we will burn out. And that's what actually has happened to me. And I realize it's my responsibility to really look after myself and become happy and take action from that more joyful, more empowered space. And I really want to call for, with my business partner, Sue Jackson, we want to call for a more feminine way of doing business, which will be more inclusive, it will be co-creative, it's going to be bringing more fun and joy into business world and to this world so that we can all actually tackle these issues, these problems in a more inspired and purposeful way. And one of the things we actually decided to do is when we co-founded our company, Future Proof Your Business, based on 4 Ps: purpose, people, planet, and profit. All those 4 things are equally important for any business that wants to be future-proof. So what we decided to do was to walk the talk and not just say what needs to happen, but actually start, feeling into the fact that if we want more feminine business, how do we do it? How can we actually demonstrate it in our own lives as business owners or entrepreneurs? So we obviously became co-founders. We also became co-CEOs. And CEO is an abbreviation of very prestigious Chief Executive Officer, which is fine, but it still is a symptom of that old way of doing business. And that's why we decided to call ourselves, I'm calling myself Chief Ecstasy Officer for joy and happiness in business world, not the other ecstasy. And Sue Jackson calls herself Chief Empowerment Officer. And I think that's a really important way of showing and leading the way that things can be different. It can feel quite scary in a way, to start changing things. But we need to be more audacious and more bold to actually lead that change, if the change that we want to see, in effect. And, just going deep into the structures of the status quo is also important, as well as taking action that feels aligned to your mission and to your purpose. So we have now started recording episodes for our Ecstatic Empowerment Podcast. And I would really feel excited to have you on that journey and on that movement as well, because I think more people start voicing different ways of doing business and showing up in this world and what leadership is like or could be like, the better. And we're going to be launching on 22nd of September. So if you feel that this is something that you are curious about or even excited about, please tune in to our Telegram channel, Ecstatic Empowerment Podcast. And I think we also have a Ecstatic Empowerment Instagram account and a Twitter account and Facebook and all sorts of things. So, just see if you can find us and let's connect. Let me know how you feel about this movement of making business more feminine, more inclusive, more creative, more collaborative, more fun and joyful, so that we can really start addressing these problems that will safeguard this planet for you. Thank you so much, and I hope you will enjoy this day and really look forward to hearing from you. Mwah! Bye.